So Gucci Pour Homme II, that's a discontinued fragrance that right now has a lot of hype. It is definitely a well sought after fragrance, especially if you go on sites like eBay.com. You can see that fragrance going for, hundreds of dollars for even just a partial bottle pretty much. So in today's video, what we're doing is we're going to be comparing an alternative of Gucci Pour Homme from Alexandria Fragrances, and that's going to be the Pour Homme II. All right. So I have here a sample of Gucci Pour Homme II, and we're just going to be doing a side-by-side comparison to see if Alexandria's version is, pretty much the answer to Gucci Pour Homme II. Now, obviously, like I said, Gucci Pour Homme II, it is discontinued. So, the only way to really get your hands on that fragrance is to buy it secondhand from someone else. And obviously, with that comes higher prices. Now, the Alexandria version, I believe for a 100 ml bottle, I believe that probably goes for like around $110 to $120 or so. Normally with a discount, you can get it for, cheaper. We're just going to see exactly how close these are. All right. So I've got the Gucci Pour Homme II over here. And then I've got the Alexandria Pour Homme II over here. All right. And just to kind of go over the notes of the two fragrances, or of the Gucci Pour Homme II, I'm sorry. In the top notes, you're going to get violet leaf and bergamot. In the mid, you get black tea, cinnamon, and pimento. And then in the base, you have tobacco leaf, myrrh, musk, and olive tree. All right. So what I can say is, just from the opening spray, the Alexandria is going to be, I would say, almost identical for the most part. And typically in, clones versus, the original fragrances, normally the biggest difference that you're always going to notice is typically going to be in the opening. And so at least the clones that I've smelled that typically smell almost exactly the same as the original fragrance, even in the opening, that normally is a pretty good sign of, a well cloned fragrance. And yeah, I really don't pick up on, I would say, really any differences whatsoever between the two fragrances. Honestly, I don't. I'm not picking up on any sort of, differences in terms of like the Alexandria maybe emphasizing different notes. I'm not getting any sort of texture difference between the two fragrances. Definitely not getting any sort of difference in quality for sure. And I would also say that the strength of the two fragrances is also, it's basically the same. So the Alexandria is not any weaker or stronger than, what the original from Gucci is, which is really amazing. And so, pretty much if you're not familiar with, what this fragrance smells like, the best way for me to kind of describe this is like a really sort of cold, like a chilled sort of black tea sort of drink that also kind of has like some spice added to it as well. That's really, I would say that's the best way for me to kind of describe this. It has, I would say, like a sort of slight sort of smokiness to it as well. All right. But overall, this is just a really sort of smooth, calming, sort of scent, I would say. it's pretty cool and rainy out here in Las Vegas today. I would say this is definitely a fragrance that I would wear in that type of weather, but it's also a fragrance that I would say that you could also wear on like a sunny day when it's warm as well. So I do think that this has pretty good versatility. This is definitely something that you could probably wear as like a signature scent all year round for the most part. But yeah, man, between the two fragrances, I'm really not picking up on any sort of difference whatsoever. And you know, it's the same thing when I kind of wore the two fragrances on skin. I couldn't pick up any differences at all. Also, in terms of the way the two fragrances perform, they're also pretty much the same. So in terms of like the projection, you're gonna get at least about, I would say, a little bit under an arm's length or so for about like the first hour and a half. And then, you know, after that, pretty much the overall longevity, you're gonna get like around, I would say, 7 to 8 hours pretty much out of both fragrances. So, you know, the performance, I would say, is pretty good for what the scent is. The scent isn't like a super beast mode sort of scent, you know, but it definitely, it has enough, I would say, thickness and body to it to where, you know, you can definitely get a really nice sort of scent bubble around you and smell this one, you know, for quite a while. All right. So, yeah, man, this one, like I said, I think this does have it has a lot of different uses to it. Like I said, I think you can wear it all year round. I think you could wear this casually or dressed up, you know, day or nighttime. It really doesn't matter. I think anytime you just want to smell, you know, just really sort of, you know, poised, clean, cool, this is definitely going to be the scent that you would want to wear for sure. All right. And it's definitely going to be enough to where, you know, you can definitely grab some attention, I think, with this scent, especially the way that this one kind of, you know, hangs in the air. The sillage on this one is definitely pretty good. But it's not, I would say, super loud to the point where it's like obnoxious. All right. But yeah, man, this one is very, very good. It really is. So if I'm going to give the Alexandria overall rating on, you know, like a scale from 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one a 9.5 out of 10, man. This one is, I mean, I don't think you can really come any closer because, like I said, I really don't see any sort of differences between the two fragrances. And just on a scale from 1 to 100 in terms of the closeness, this is going to be, I'm going to give it like a 98%. All right. A 98 to 99%. I never really want to give anything like 100% because, you know, obviously it's a clone and there may be some sort of slight differences that maybe my nose is just not picking up on. But I mean, I'm going to say this is definitely going to be one of the closest clones that I've smelled, you know, in a while. So that's definitely saying a lot because I've definitely had some very nice close clones that I've smelled. So again, if you're someone who is not looking to pay the hundreds of dollars that, you know, Gucci Pour Homme II is going for, absolutely pick up the Pour Homme II from Alexandria Fragrances. You won't be disappointed. This is definitely a banger from them. And definitely, man, let me know in the comments what you all think about the Pour Homme II from Alexandria Fragrances. Do you all agree with how close, you know, my assessment is of the Alexandria to the original fragrance? And also, do you get good performance out of this fragrance as well? Again, at least on my skin, this does pretty decent. So definitely, man, let me know in the comments. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. And to everyone watching, leave a like and a comment on the video. And again, that's Jamar from Vegas Scents. I'll see y'all next video.